Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister for Workplace Relations and Safety, does she agree with the New Zealand Council of Trade Unions that this is the most anti-worker government that we've seen in decades? If not, why not?
The Honourable Brooke Van Velden.
Mr Speaker, no, I don't agree with that statement, because I believe, in fact, the most anti-worker government we've seen in decades is the previous government. It was the previous government that ordered vaccine mandates for workers. Never before have we seen the rights of workers across this country be eroded so swiftly.
You made a very interesting comment at the recent Health Tech Week. Quote, "When it came to COVID, we completely blew out what the value of a life was. Completely. I've never seen such a high value on life."
This government is delivering for all workers, including the over 85% who are not union members.
Unions are known all around the world, and many of us are members. But do unions actually increase wages? With me to discuss this question is David Seymour from the Frontier Center for Public Policy.
Now, if you happen to get the wage increase, but you don't actually buy much of the product you produce, then you could end up a lot better off, at least in the short term. However,
Supplementary. Does she think that abolishing fair pay agreements, bringing back fire at will, ordering mass public sector layoffs and cutting back increases to the minimum wage is taking New Zealand workers forwards or backwards?
Mr Speaker, we need a labour market that works for business, because when it works for business, it works for workers. We need to have business confidence built back, which we knew crashed under the previous government. When we have confidence of business, we will have more and better jobs for other Kiwis in our country.
Supplementary. How can she expect New Zealanders to believe this government isn't anti-worker when she has proposed removing basic rights and protections for workers by reclassifying employees as contractors and failing to save thousands of jobs in meatworks and constructions up and down the country?
Mr Speaker, that's not what we've done. I think it's really important that what we have achieved under this government and what we're committed to do is what people were asking the previous government to do, to look at the barrier between an employee and a contractor and clarify it. The previous government was asked by workers and businesses to do it and failed. We are actually committed to making life easier for workers and businesses to get on with what they do, rather than trying to wheedle their way through compliance.
Who should New Zealanders believe? The Minister who says this government is making life easier for workers, or the New Zealand Council of Trade Unions President Richard Wagstaff, who says that this government has launched an all-out assault on workers' rights?
Mr Speaker, they should believe this government. Because we don't represent just the less than 15% of New Zealanders who are labour union members. We represent all workers.
Australia has banned engineered stone in construction after a surge of cases of silicosis, which is that awful condition affecting the lungs.
But not necessarily just going straight.
Is it right to take time? If this is risking the lives of New Zealanders who are working with these products, wouldn't a more judicious approach be to actually put a pause on it, like Australia is doing, and then wait for more evidence to build before making a long-term decision?
And that's why we're looking at the evidence.
But my question is, wouldn't if you were acting in the interests of workers, wouldn't a more judicious approach be to put a pause on it, like Australia is doing, while you wait for that evidence to come in, so you can take the time to make a longer-term decision?
No, I think it's actually better for us to make sure that we're analysing all of the evidence, all of the advice, and actually reaching the right option.
Would it keep workers safer?
It may not be that the ban is the correct approach, but we don't know that yet.
No, which is why I'm suggesting that we follow that an option could be to follow Australia. Do you think putting a pause on that and then considering the future of it once more evidence comes in would give greater surety around worker safety in the short term?
What I think I want to be very clear on is I don't want to be a reactionary politician where any red flag or any signal means that we stop the economy. I don't think that's good for people. I don't think it's good for businesses. I don't actually think it's good for workers as well. We need people to be able to turn up to work. We need them to be healthy. We need them to be safe.
We need them to be alive, don't we? How long do you think that process will take? Just roughly. Any idea?
You're going to have to give me the time, Jack.
No.